Carlos Alcaraz's story is one of rare brilliance, relentless work ethic, and a joy for the game that feels as infectious as it is inspiring. Born on May 5, 2003, in El Palmar, a small village in the Murcia region of Spain, Carlos grew up in an environment where sport wasn't just a pastime, it was a way of life. His father, Carlos Alcaraz Sr., ran a tennis academy, giving the young boy a front-row seat to the rhythm and discipline of the sport. From the moment he could hold a racket, his path seemed inevitable. But inevitability is a dangerous word in sports. Talent is never enough. It must be matched with hunger, resilience, and the ability to adapt. In Alcaraz's case, these traits were nurtured early, shaped by family support, countless hours on dusty courts, and a genuine love for competition. What separated Carlos from so many other promising juniors wasn't just his skill, it was the way he approached the game. Even as a child, he played with a blend of creativity and fearlessness that made him stand out. Coaches and opponents alike noted how he combined the clay court patience of Spanish tennis tradition with the explosiveness and aggression of a hard court specialist. He didn't just mimic Rafael Nadal, Spain's greatest tennis icon. He absorbed the lessons from Nadal's game but added his own twist, taking the ball early, rushing the net, and hitting drop shots when least expected. That willingness to trust his instincts became his calling card. As a teenager, Carlos began to attract attention beyond Spain. His performances in junior tournaments hinted at something special, but it was his decision to train under Juan Carlos Ferrero, the former world #1 and French Open champion, that marked a turning point. Ferrero saw in Carlos not just raw potential but a mind ready to learn. Under his guidance, Alcaraz refined his technique, sharpened his fitness, and developed the mental resilience needed to survive in the brutal world of professional tennis. It was a partnership built on mutual respect. Ferrero challenged Carlos to work harder than he thought possible, while Carlos brought an enthusiasm that reinvigorated his coach's love for the sport. By the time he broke into the ATP Tour, Alcaraz was already being whispered about as the next big thing. These whispers grew louder with each stunning upset and fearless performance against established stars. He was no longer the boy from El Palmar. He was a contender, a player whose style reminded some of the sport's greats yet felt entirely new. His movement across the court was fluid and feline, his footwork so precise that he could change direction in an instant. His forehand, struck with whip-like speed, was a weapon that could end points from anywhere. But what truly made him dangerous was his adaptability. He could grind out points like a clay court veteran, but he could also flatten his shots and rush the net when the situation demanded. The tennis world truly took notice in 2022 when Carlos won the US Open, becoming the youngest man to claim the world #1 ranking. That victory was more than just a trophy, it was a statement. Alcaraz had arrived, and he wasn't there to simply participate, he was there to shape the future. The final itself was a showcase of his grit and versatility, with long rallies that tested his endurance and moments of audacity that left the crowd gasping. In lifting that trophy, Carlos didn't just step into history, he stepped into a spotlight that would follow him for the rest of his career. The challenge for any young champion is to sustain success. Many players have surged early only to fade under the weight of expectation. But Alcaraz seemed to thrive in the glare of the spotlight. His rivalry with Novak Djokovic became one of the defining storylines of modern tennis, pitting youthful exuberance against seasoned mastery. Their battles were more than matches. They were chess games played at blistering speed, a test of physical endurance and mental calculation. When Alcaraz defeated Djokovic at Wimbledon, it felt like a symbolic passing of the torch, though Djokovic, ever the competitor, was not about to give it up without a fight. These encounters elevated Carlos's game and forced him to dig deeper, to find solutions against one of the greatest players in history. What makes Alcaraz so compelling is that he plays with a joy that's impossible to fake. In an era where many athletes speak of pressure as a burden, Carlos embraces it as a privilege. He smiles between points, laughs at his own mistakes, and interacts with the crowd in ways that remind fans why they fell in love with tennis in the first place. This emotional openness doesn't make him any less competitive. If anything, it fuels him. He has an almost childlike curiosity about the game, constantly looking for ways to improve, to experiment, to surprise both himself and his opponents. Beyond the court, Alcaraz's humility is striking. Despite his rapid rise, he remains grounded, often speaking about his roots in Palmar and the sacrifices his family made to support his dreams. His father's influence is ever present, not just in the technical foundation of his game but in the values he carries: respect for opponents, commitment to hard work, and the understanding that success is never achieved alone. He often credits his team, from Ferrero to his fitness trainers, as the backbone of his achievements. Carlos's style of play has also become a talking point among tennis analysts. His ability to seamlessly blend old-school shot-making with modern athleticism makes him a nightmare to prepare for. One moment he's engaging in a grueling baseline rally. The next, he's feathering a drop shot that dies just over the net. His variety forces opponents out of their comfort zones, disrupting rhythms and dictating play. And yet, he's still evolving. Every season brings new layers to his game: a more consistent serve, sharper volleys, improved shot selection. He studies his rivals closely, learning not just from victories but from defeats, treating losses as opportunities to grow. The weight of expectation will only grow heavier as Carlos continues to build his legacy. Already, comparisons to Nadal, Djokovic, and Roger Federer are unavoidable. But perhaps the most exciting thing about Alcaraz is that he doesn't seem interested in being the next anyone. He wants to be the first Carlos Alcaraz, a player defined not by the shadows of legends but by his own unique journey. He knows that greatness isn't built overnight, that consistency over years is the true mark of a champion. And with each match, each season, he edges closer to that mark. The future of tennis is often a topic of debate, but with Alcaraz at the forefront, the sport feels alive with possibility. His blend of athleticism, skill, and charisma has the potential to draw new fans while keeping longtime followers engaged. He represents a bridge between eras, respectful of the past, yet unafraid to forge a new path. Whether on clay, grass, or hard courts, he plays with the same fire, adapting his game to each surface and situation. Off the court, Alcaraz has begun to understand the power of his platform. He engages with young fans, participates in community events, and uses his voice to promote sportsmanship and hard work. In a world where athletes are often defined solely by their performances, Carlos offers something more: a reminder that character matters as much as skill, and that the journey is as important as the destination. As he continues to chase Grand Slam titles and cement his place at the top of the game, one thing is certain: Carlos Alcaraz is not just a champion in the making, he is a champion already. His story is still being written, but each chapter so far has been filled with the kind of moments that define a career. Whether it's the roar of the crowd after a match point, the quiet moments of reflection in the locker room, or the hours spent grinding on the practice court, Carlos approaches it all with the same mindset: give everything, enjoy the process, and never stop believing. The next decade of tennis will be shaped, in no small part, by his presence. Fans will debate his matches, celebrate his victories, and dissect his losses. But through it all, Alcaraz will keep playing the game his way, with passion, courage, and a smile that says he's exactly where he wants to be. For those who have watched his rise from a teenager with promise to a world champion, it's clear that the best is yet to come. And for Carlos, that journey is the real reward. Thank you for watching and for joining us on this journey through the remarkable rise of Carlos Alcaraz, a player whose passion, talent, and spirit are reshaping the future of tennis. If his story inspired you, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow tennis fans, and subscribe so you never miss more stories about the legends and rising stars who make sports unforgettable. Your support helps keep these tributes alive, and we can't wait to bring you the next chapter.